I don't think of myself as old. And maybe that's because I have quite a few friends who are older than me. So I think, well, I'm not that old. But when I'm honest, I have to admit that most of the people I know, in fact, most of the people on this planet are a lot younger than me. But I don't like thinking of myself as old. So I've learned to think about it differently. I've come to understand that given the time that I've lived, I've developed perspective on life. I have my certain perspective. So I was born in the 1950s, and maybe that was a long time ago. But because of that, I saw a lot of things happen, a lot of things that were important. For instance, I remember whenever JFK was elected president, that was 1961, and there was this sense in the U.S. that Camelot had arrived, that it was going to be like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and that this new era was happening. And of course, Kennedy was shot. And that was the end of Camelot. Or was it? But then Martin Luther King came along, and King was working on civil rights for quite a long time and was fervent at it and dedicated and was making progress and organizing people and teaching nonviolent organization. And he too was shot. As a gay man, I was excited whenever Harvey Milk was elected to the Board of Supervisors in the city of San Francisco. Okay, so it was San Francisco, so that wasn't too much of a fluke, but still the first openly gay elected official. That really meant something, because I thought, if it's starting to happen, maybe it'll start happening around the country and things will change. Harvey Milk was gunned down too. Now, here's what's important. Just because these people that I view as heroes were shot in the prime of their lives, while they were doing important things, it didn't mean that any of their movements ended. I mean, Johnson picked up on Kennedy with the war on poverty, and there were things that really began happening with civil rights and the Voting Rights Act, and things have improved, and LGBTQ rights and visibility have really evolved since Milk's time. Their deaths didn't bring an end. Now, I'm not saying that everything's okay, because it's not okay. There's a lot of work to be done. There are a lot of ways in which there's inequity and inequality in the world, not just in the United States, but around the world. However, my perspective is that there's a possibility for goodness in the future. And I think that's important for us to remember. I don't view this as just a matter of justice and civil rights. Instead, I view this all as a matter of spirituality and faith. And it's really my faith that guides me in this. And I don't mean some sort of doctrinal faith. Doctrines are easy. This is really hard stuff. At root, I firmly believe that people have the desire and have the capacity to create something good in life, that they want a better world, that we together want to make a mark on humanity's existence that's about improvement, about forward movement, that's about turning a page, about going further than we've gone before. I think that's part of the human spirit. Now, yes, there's lots of evidence to the contrary. There are ways in which people treat each other horribly. There's all kinds of prejudice and racism, sexism, and I can go down the list. But despite that, there's something about the human spirit that calls us to move forward, to improve what we have. And I believe that's what was at work in my great heroes, and that's what's at work in each of us. And so I look at our progression into the future with faith, with the belief that we can be better than we've been before. You know, my senator, Raphael Warnock, who pastors a church less than 5 miles from where I live, has a way of saying that our faith, our prayers, come into action. And one of the things he says is that voting is a form of prayer. And he's right. When we vote aspirationally, we vote our values, we vote for the future we want. That's part of our prayer, part of our hope, part of our faith. But there are many more ways in which we make our faith tangible. Every time we treat another person with respect, every time we treat them with compassion and with dignity, every time we care for the environment, every time we try to make the world a better place, we are acting out of faith. And that faith is that we have the possibility of a better tomorrow. So yeah, I've lived a few decades, and it's given me perspective. That perspective is to continue to have faith, to work towards a better tomorrow by beginning today in how we act and the ways in which we care for ourselves, each other, the environment, and for all life around us. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it with others, leave me some comments, and know that I appreciate the time you spend with spirituality beyond borders. Have a really great day and have faith.